Alright guys, check this out. So last night it got dark, plus my phone died, so I didn't get a chance to show the outcome, plus it was too late to start it. So I actually didn't get to start it until just now to find out if it was fixed or not. Beforehand, yesterday, I was still having problems because the governor arm that was on that one got stripped. So even though I was tightening it down on the little tab that comes up, here I'll show. Is this the one? No, this is a different one, but this is an example. So here's the tab that comes up from inside the block where the governor is, right? And this is your governor arm. See how this is nice and snug on here? Well, first of all, when you set these governors, you make sure that thing is turned all the way that way to where it can't turn no more. Then you put the governor arm on to this position and then tighten it down. That's set correctly. So if you did it the opposite, if you turn this all the way this way and then put that governor arm on, it would be backwards and it would either race, it would probably race. So that's how you set it. And as you can see, this is actually an Allen head. The Torx, yeah, it's a Torx, probably like a T20 or 25. So you could use a Torx, an inverted Torx, to stop that, but you don't have to. You just make sure it's turned all the way there. Then you slide the arm down on it and you tighten it, and you make sure it's very tight so that this doesn't turn on the shaft. So yesterday, once I freed this up because it was frozen from mouse shit and piss, when I put the arm back on, right, it wasn't, this nut and bolt weren't tightening down. So the arm kept slipping on that little shaft, and that was creating it, it was making it speed still. So I thought, after trying to fix it 3 times, I thought for sure the governor was shot internally, right? So I took a different arm, took one from another motor in here somewhere, that one I think. Right, I put that one on, and then I came over here just now because I didn't get to try it after I did that last night, and here's the outcome I got. It's a primer version. I already primed it and started it once. Got a minor drizzle going on. Sorry. It's hard to do this one-handed. I don't want to shut the phone off. Now when I first started it, it was running real slow, so I adjusted it a little bit. It sounds like it might be a little too high, so I'll just drop that back just a tad. And I'll check it with the tachometer, and it's good. Oil's good, gas is good. I'll put a new air filter in, new spark plug, sharpen a blade, wash it, and it's ready to go. Self-propelled is very tight. Might adjust that cable a little bit to slow that down, and then that's it. This one's good to go. I gotta get these covers back on. It's raining a little bit harder than I was expecting, but that's the way it goes. Good news is the only thing that still needs to be done to that one at the moment now, pretty much after, is to wash it. And since it's gonna get wet anyway, You can wash it in the rain and list it. 300. Yeah, a mower like this. First of all, the thing's still practically new. A mower like that would have been comparable to say like one of them. $499. Yeah, it was the top of the line, rear wheel drive. They even had ones where the electric starter was under this cover and you could have electric start, but you don't need all that extra stuff. It starts easy enough. See, this is the trigger one. This is, I prefer this. But this is too tight right now, plus there's garbage in there, but I gotta adjust this. But this is the way I prefer them, the trigger ones like this. The more pressure, the faster it goes. So, and then on these, you can put a bale on, and then you can walk away. Which is cool, you know? And it'll stay running. It'll stay running at full throttle, but it'll stay running. You know, on the older ones, you could walk away and lower the throttle. I'm just wondering if I wanted to. I'm not going to, because I'm just selling this anyway. If you could add a throttle to this, because the older ones had them. So I'm just wondering what piece is missing that would have had the throttle. Maybe something in this area right here. Something that would have... Oh no, on this side, right, this side. The throttle would have hooked up. Okay, yeah, this thing. See how this thing's kind of made to where it looks like it's ready, it's made to swing? Well, this one's fixed now, but on the older ones, this area would have swung, and a throttle cable would have hooked up right here, and the end of the cable would have went right here, and it would have swung this and controlled that area right there. Would have had another butterfly. Oh no, that would have... Alright, this is primer, so it doesn't have a choke butterfly. It's just prime and throttle. So yeah, this is the throttle. It would have had the throttle on here, and it would have controlled this with the throttle cable, and that's how it would have worked. So if you wanted to add a throttle to this, you could. And then technically, if you really wanted to, you could remove this cable, you could remove this bale, and you could put a switch on. You could wire a switch up here or down here, and then when you're ready to shut the engine off, you just hit the switch like the old ones. Because right now, if you were to do it, if you were to remove that bale and that cable, you would have to pull the spark plug wire to shut it down. But yeah, in theory, if you wanted to add a throttle and remove and get rid of the bale and just have an on-off switch, you could do it. Like if, say, this was my mower, right, and I wanted to do that, and I was using it often, and I wanted to be able to adjust the speed and keep the engine running and shut it off at my desire, I could. But that's how you used to be able to do it on mowers in the early 80s. And then I think somewhere around 82, 83, that's when this became mandatory. And that's why, for a 2000, I don't understand even why they had a throttle. Because the bale has been on these mowers for 18 years already, and you got a throttle. From what I heard from a few people is they like to be able to lower the throttle so they can cut grass near flowers at lower engine speed, so it's not kicking it into a flower bed. So I guess I could see that one advantage of it. But as far as lowering the throttle to walk away from the machine, you can't do it unless you do like I do and put a bale on it, a clamp on it, like I was doing with the orange handle one. And that's the only way, unless you eliminate this stuff. And it's just not worth doing it. But you could. Because I remember somebody asked me one time, if you wanted to, get rid of this throttle, how do you keep the thing going? And he said, could I just wrap wire around this? Yeah, you could take wire and wrap this around here to keep this in the on, position, like this. But then even if you do that, you're still stuck with, you would have to pull the spark plug to shut it off. So the right way to do it is you eliminate this, because it has the brake. You eliminate the throttle cable mechanism, right? There's the kill tab. You can wire a kill switch right to that or to the coil, right? And then you've eliminated this, and then you can shut it on and off whenever you want instead of having it done by that. And then if you want to go the extra mile and add a throttle cable, you could do that too. If you've got the parts on hand with the old bracket to switch it, and then you can add a cable. Now there are a couple of them where the bale is incorporated with the self-propel. I know there's a Toro that had it. On those you can't do it because you need the bale to shift. You need this thing to be able to shift the gears. So you have to have it there to shift gears. I guess technically you could still eliminate the kill and just have it there to shift, I think. But it still needed the bale. The bale had to be there, because on a certain model you had to let up halfway to be able to shift gears. So on a unit like that, you pretty much can't eliminate it. But on one like this, you can, because all you've got is this. So once you start it and it's on, this controls the go. And then if you wanted to run a little toggle switch right here, on, off, and then if you had the throttle, you could lower to idle. It would stay on because you'd have your switch here. And then when you're ready to shut it down, you just click the switch off. And you have it at any speed you want. So yes, it is possible to do it if you're willing to put the time and the parts into it. But one thing to keep in mind, if you do that, is you're eliminating your safety. So if you slip and fall and you can't let go of this and it doesn't shut down and the mower backs off on you, that's it. That's how you get hurt. That's why they added these things, inclines and that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you were to go that route, you would no longer have the safety. So you would have to use common sense and be extra safe. And that's the situation with that. Alright guys, that's the outcome on the Husqvarna. It was fixed within, I don't know, an hour or two.